You know, it's like sometimes if you tune the volume too loud, you sometimes don't even know if it's coming out of your speakers or your headphones because it's just
okay. I hope you're not wearing your headphones if that actually ever happens.
Hi, how you doing, guys? It's been a while.
Yeah, good. It has.
It's been a while.
We were just talking about the weapon of mass destruction that is the German greeting Mahlzeit. Kai, what do you think about Mahlzeit?
Yeah, dude,
Do you use it?
So no, dude, like, because no, never. Like,
okay, yeah, it's a boomer greeting, right? It's very much a boomer greeting.
Because it means like enjoy your meal, but like people say it all the time, even if you're not eating. Then I'm like, okay, so what's the purpose of this greeting?
The thing is, I used to think it's a North German thing that people say Mahlzeit.
Yeah.
But then again, people also say it in Bavaria sometimes.
Yeah.
But what do you respond? Like literally, my colleague, he goes out to like on I don't know. I don't even know why he goes out like in the middle of the day, and then he just as he leaves, he says Mahlzeit, and I love that guy. But what am I supposed to say? I just told Callum, I'm 39 years old, and I don't know what to say.
But that's fine. You don't need to respond to everything. You can just nod your head, be like, yeah.
No, it's the same situation when you go to a restaurant like and the waitress brings you the meal and then she says like enjoy your meal and then you respond like you too, and
then she grabs your food and eats it from your plate.
Dude, it is so fucked up. I think like everyone on this planet has probably done it at least once.
Is that
have
like
a good flight, you too?
Oh yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing. Have a good flight, you too. Yeah. Oh god.
Damn it.
Every time.
And you know you fucked up the second after. You know, it's like you know it.
Yeah, it happens to me sometimes on the phone when I tell people, "Hey, enjoy your time in Egypt," and they're like, "You too." I'm like, "Yeah."
Cool. At least you can be like, you know what? I've been there way more than you. You suck.
Yeah, it makes it so uncomfortable for the other person too to then respond to that too. So like usually the conversation just ends. It's so bad. Like you cannot win. Like it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. Unless you're going somewhere really shitty, and then they're like, "Ha, yeah, enjoy it."
Callum, do you have that in the UK? It's some kind of weird greeting where nobody knows how to respond to it. Like, I guess if people say "oi," you just say "oi."
Yeah, no, it's so like slang based and regional and stuff. I don't know. Like half the country can't understand each other. Like no one knows what Liverpudlians are talking about and stuff. So no, we don't really have that same term though.
Oh, interesting.
Have you gotten used to like whatever they speak up in Newcastle?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's Jordy.
I heard about that.
It's lovely. It's really, really genuinely, before I moved as well, one of my favorite like ways of people speaking here. Like, I don't like lots of them, as you can guess, Liverpool and like Birmingham and stuff I don't really like, but I'm going to upset a lot of friends from Birmingham there. I'm sorry. I love you guys. But Jordy is absolutely beautiful.
How does it work? Like, can people immediately tell that you're from London?
Yeah, I think so. I have either like a nothingy accent or a London accent. So the Jordy accent's very strong. It's "Why hey man, how are you?" Like that.
You know, we should actually have you like do one of those episodes in a Jordy or Jordanian accent. I don't know.
I can't do it very much, but they have a lot of things they say, like actual words which I'd never heard of before. So they refer to their partners as war, like WOR. So
what? That sounds like something out of like Orcs and Warcraft.
It's cool. I think it's awesome. So they say war lass is like my girlfriend and war lad is my boyfriend, and it's just like everyday talk, but it's cool. Yeah.
War lads. Like, yeah. That's like partner in crime.
Partner, okay. Yeah. And like, yeah, it's great.
What do we say in German? We say Ische. It's like a slang. What are German slang terms for girlfriend or boyfriend?
Oh man, I don't know.
Oide.
I don't know. Oh my.
Oide, my old one.
Oh, oide.
Oide?
Yeah, oide.
But your oide is like your girlfriend or wife. Anyway, hello and welcome to Everyday Turtle number 188, your favorite linguistic podcast of the year or something. You don't know, guys. Send us your favorite slang terms for your boy or girlfriend. but seriously, guys, what have you been up to lately? Callum, I heard you've been diving deep into actually not Warhammer, but some kind of other tabletop game, right?
No, Warhammer.
Was it Warhammer? No, you played something. Now I don't remember it.
40k.
No. You talked about it on Discord even. There was like another tabletop game that you were interested in.
Well, Middle Earth.
Oh yeah, you sound so excited about that one.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think there was another one. You know
okay, apparently I must have misunderstood. I thought like you were going like really deep on something.
Tell you what, I'm opening it very quickly now to see if I've just mistaken.
I mean, there are different tabletop games, right? Like didn't like Lord of the Rings also publish like a game like many years ago?
I think so.
Well, yeah, it's the same one. It's called Middle-earth Strategy Battle.
Yeah,
Game.
but like back then, everyone told me that the game is like very shitty in comparison to Warhammer, so I didn't even give it a try.
Nope, so wrong.
Okay, all right, okay. My life is a lie. Okay,
your life is a lie because the rules, like since it was released, have not changed very much, and it's considered one of the best games Warhammer has made, and I think it is the best game they make and stuff now. But no, I think you misunderstood, Julian. But I've been really back into 40k recently.
Okay.
What happened is I had all my stuff. I sold a bit when I left London, and I sold a bit more when I arrived here, thinking that there's a very high chance I just don't really play it again. I wasn't really into it. I'd kind of not played for 6 months. I was into the Lord of the Rings game, but I was just a bit more into Magic, and I was just not playing it, not interested. And then the scene here, I found out they do like every Wednesday you meet up and you get like paired off, like it's a tournament, so like tournament practice and stuff. And then I met the scene here, and then I one of the teams here like needed someone to join last minute. So like on Friday at 2 p.m, they were like, shit, we need someone to play this team tournament with us down in like 5-hour drive away. I can't remember where it was, Sheffield, I think. And they were like, shit, anyone able to just come at 2 hours notice? And I was like, hey, I've got a free weekend.
Raise your hand, yeah.
Yeah. And so I went, and I'm now made friends with all the scene here, and now I'm more into it than ever. It's so addictive.
But which game exactly are we talking about now?
It's 40k here.
40k, yeah.
Oh, 40k.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the bottom line is the game is cool and fun and stuff, but similar to Magic and similar to any other game, it's determined by your scene and friends you make around it. So for me, the Middle-earth scene here is very good, so I've made loads of friends here, but 40k scene is also phenomenal. And so they've got me back into the game. It's the friends I've met rather than actually playing the game that's...
It just happens that the game is also really good.
Yeah. The game is really fun. It's very good at a high competitive level. Like there's a lot going on. It's very deep. So it kind of satisfies that itch. And I've always thought, like, as I bounce between Magic and 40k, that whenever one is more interested than the other, then it's just really nice to just jump between them and stuff. But additionally, recently I've been playing some Magic, but I had like a big crazy work thing up until a couple of weeks ago, which has taken up all my time. So I'm a little bit out of the loop, I've got to admit, for the first time in a while. So we'll see if I can't...
That's also why we replaced you with Bob Wang, right? For the last episode.
Yes, that was because I was just knee deep in... it was like kind of working till 10, 11 p.m. lots of nights. And
shit.
It was a bit... I knew it was coming, so it was just like an intense period. And it was a end of financial year for our company. So I knew that exactly at like midnight on the 31st of March, it would all stop. Everything's done. So it's all been really chill for the last few weeks, which is nice.
Man, so you have to put like all the financial cheats that you can find. Just
yeah. I won't bore people with the end of financial year.
Like an inventory financial podcast or something. Dude, do you know how you actually count the numbers of this item? Oh, this is so great. You count them in pairs, so it's like twice as fast, and then you divide by 2 or something. Yeah, anyway.
The G's well played. Yeah, good to have you back on the cast then.
Yes. I got to admit, Bob was way worse. No, it was. I listened, and it was a great episode. It was very fun.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we did a lot of things on the fly. Yeah.
I remember when Bob was still like a regular member. I still think he would sometimes record from work, actually.
Nice.
And if you are Bob's employer, this is totally made up and it's not true and just like a random thing that I think.
Like Bob's not true either, so.
Oh, so you tell me like he was not your number one Patreon?
Bob?
No, the boss. Like
the boss. Oh yeah, sure.
What are you talking about?
He signed up to get all the work secrets that we spill here. Yeah, I told you about the guy. I told you about the guy who forgot his holiday, right? Did I not?
No, I don't think so.
We might have had a client who booked a €6,000 holiday, and then he didn't show up at the hotel, and then the hotel called us, and we called him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that." And he literally forgot his €6,000 holiday.
Shit, dude, that's
and then
insane.
he rebooked it for the next year. Yeah. I mean,
this is almost like as bad as booking your tournament, hotel, and everything, but then forget to book your flight, kind of thing.
Yeah, but who would ever do that?
That's pretty fucking stupid. So like, you should not do that.
Yeah. Maybe you're gonna have me to book your flights and organize everything.
I need someone else to book my flight.
Yeah. I told you, right? My boss wants me to go to Morocco to keep learning kitesurfing there, and I guess I gotta get going.
Oh, you poor thing. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
God. I mean, lucky me gets to work till 10, 11 p.m. You have to go to Morocco to learn kitesurfing. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Guy, and speaking of winning and losing some, Legacy lost some cards recently, and I guess on the last episode we were all happy about this. But Callum, we didn't get your take about the most recent bannings. How did you feel about those?
Yeah, cool. I didn't actually think about this too much because I thought we covered it. So basically, I was happy with the bans.
I'm such a cop-out.
No, I'm unprepared here, but I've got lots of thoughts. I'm really happy with the two cards they banned. Basically, I think Troll was a smart one. I totally appreciate that it looks really silly. I think a lot of people admit this. So like a lot of the context behind it, people were saying Troll makes sense because it takes away the tempo aspect, which I believe is true. I totally think it's a good ban. But then a lot of people are like, oh, but how ridiculous is it banning Troll of Khazad-dûm and Legacy? It's like, well, ultimately it doesn't matter. The moment it's banned, everyone's forgotten the card exists now. It just doesn't matter. It can live on the ban list. No one really cares that it's there. But banning it at the time looks a bit silly, but hey, it's Wizards, and I think Emma did a great job like writing up the thoughts on it as well. Totally nailed it. It gave the deck this tempo aspect. It was too easy to just play your reanimate and animate dead for like a 1-for-1 if it gets removed with a surgical or fairy macabre, whatever. So I think Reanimator is now just a completely fair deck and stuff. And so yeah, I'm happy with that. Micro Spawn, as we know, is my least favorite card ever printed. It used to be Lava Spike. That crown is now taken. So
wait, literally Lava Spike?
Yeah, literally Lava Spike was my least favorite card forever until Micro Spawn came out.
Was that like, did you lose with the card just too often? Lava Spike?
No,
it's super stupid. I gotta agree.
I just think it's so just boring and like, I'm gonna burn you. I mean, maybe you can target yourself is the joke, right? And it's like, oh, it just does one thing and it's so boring. I just think burn is incredibly boring.
You guys remember that guy on Reddit who made a post about like what's the best way to build and play burn, in which he argued that Lava Spike is better than Lightning Bolt because you can't misplay it.
You can though, you can.
It still blows my mind because that was like a real serious post. It wasn't like a troll post. And he was like, yeah, Lava Spike is better because I see people misplay like Lightning Bolt all the time. They would like burn or turn one bird or something. It's like, no. You always go to the head. Like, this is like child protection. Like, if you're very experienced, you can also play Lightning Bolt because you know that you only target the other player. But otherwise, it's just like straight up better.
Actually
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Lightning Bolt is just like too many extra steps, maybe.
Yeah,
and maybe it actually was Kai who made that thing.
I paid him to write it.
But finish off, Micro Spawn. It was, this is not unprecedented. It was banned based on majority community sentiment. Like Eldrazi was doing decently as well, but I think it was pushing out decks in the metagame. Like we are seeing beans and stuff come back a bit more. And I don't know, there was so much hate for the card, and I think completely warranted that they took action based on that. And I think that's a good thing. Again, this is not unprecedented. Like I think the best example is Pioneer with Inverter of Truth. It had like an 89% win rate quite famously when they banned it, but people didn't like playing against it.
Did you say 89% win rate?
Sorry, 49. Oh, still waking up. Still got my coffee. Sorry. 49% win rate. 89 would be quite good. 49% win rate. And it was based on community sentiment. So look, this is not unprecedented. This has happened before. And I personally don't mind if this happens because ultimately this is a game we play for fun. Ultimately, Legacy is not super casual, but it's not a like Pro Tour level format and stuff. So if community sentiment is there in high enough numbers, fine, get rid of it. Who cares? My disappointment with this ban announcement, so the two bans were good, is I think this was their opportunity to go a bit further because a lot of people were not happy with a lot of cards in the format. People admitted that there was a lot of, there's a lot of different decks at the top, but there's a lot of cards that just not particularly fun is the easy cop-out answer. I could go further into it, but I think you probably covered quite a lot. But I'm thinking of something from Oops or Spells, Nadu, the One Ring, potentially Beans and Bowmasters as well, but I think that time may have gone now. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think this was their opportunity to be like, look, okay, we were like 3 months behind at least for the past ban announcements. Grief should have been gone ages ago. Frog should have been gone before Eternal Weekend. We hear you. Here's 5 or 6 bans. people were ready for that. People were calling for that. People would have accepted it, and this is their time to try things up. They could have also done some unbans. I do get not wanting to do unbans at the same bans.
Yeah.
But maybe that'll come down the line. I don't think there's any unbans that actually change the format, really, apart from Death Threat Shaman, which I still think would be cool. But I don't know. So I was left like very happy with the 2 bans they did. I was very happy with the text in the ban announcement. I think Emma did a great job, but I wanted a bit more as well. So it didn't really like spur me on to want to like jump back in and play the format. It was like better, but still similar. So the format does look better now. So it's done some good things, but it's left it like kind of lukewarm feeling for me rather than anything better, exciting.
Yeah, I quickly want to touch on the like fun, non-fun thing you mentioned, because like I listened to Eternal Dirtles the other day, and shout out to the guys, and they had Max Torsion on their show, and I think Max said something that really kind of hit the nail on the coffin. I think, and when he said
the nail on the coffin.
Oh, or the other way.
Nail on the head.
yeah, that one. Okay, it's early morning for me too.
Are you trying to put Max in this coffin? Poor Max.
Dude. Because Max said that like most things in Legacy are not fun, right? Like if you play against Delver, like getting Wastelanded, Dazed is not very fun. If you play against Chalice decks, getting Chalice is not very fun. Like playing against Sneak and Show, if you get sneaked, or if they cast Show and Tell, it's also not very fun for you. Blah blah blah. So like there are almost no decks in Legacy where it's particularly fun to play against, which sounds a little crazy, maybe.
I really disagree with that. There's rules of engagement to an extent as well, and there's levels of fun, unfun, and like I think Chalice is just like, yeah, sure, sometimes it's a little bit frustrating. It just like it's such a thing you can fight against. Like Microspawn, you couldn't. The One Ring is very hard to fight against. Nadu, when they have like Delighted Halfling or a Cavern, is just much harder to fight against, and it's just a bit more despair inducing. I don't know. I just don't really buy into that. I think there's different levels of fun, and if those things were so unfun, then there'd be more community sentiment. But
I think I get you. Like you're basically saying that the cards snowball too fast, and it's a little too like you need to interact immediately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have more time to interact.
Chalice can be in play for 5-10 turns, and maybe the opponent doesn't do something, or maybe they play a creature and you have a 2-mana removal spell or a Force of Will. It can stay in play and do something. Blood Moon, similar. Like eventually it can get like Blue Blasted or Force of Vigored, or like you draw a basic, and like sure, like there's tons of frustrating cards in this format. Like sometimes just turn 1 Show and Tell just beats you as well. But like there's a lot of ways to fight all these things. Again, rules of engagement, and maybe the rules of engagement thing is just made up. That's a very easy thing to argue against here, what I'm saying. But I just don't think that the older things are on the same level. At the same time, sure, everything is kind of unfun if you want to frame it in that way. But then we have nothing in the format. And yeah, sure, every Legacy deck is trying to do something powerful. We all know that. But ultimately, I think a majority of players want kind of a bit more back and forth, a bit more fair magic. Like it's been combo oriented for a long time. And the One Ring and Nadu especially, and Microspawn until it's gone now, really pushed these kind of mid-range decks out as well. Like like a lot of decks, you'll play back and forth, you'll play removal spells on the creatures and stuff, and then Nadu can come down with a Cavern or a Delighted Halfling, stop the removal, and then you can play a removal spell in it. I had a game the other night where I had like 4 Red Blasts in hand or whatever, but there was a Caracas and a Cavern, so like they could play the Nadu, and then I couldn't counter it, and then I would try and kill it. They draw a card, they Caracas it, draw a card after they play another blast to kill it in response, and that's just not just for Painter. That's like Swords of Plowshares decks and Force of Wills.
Yeah,
it's the same exact thing.
I totally get it. It's like the one card that kind of like undoes everything that's been that has happened so far in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Like
Nadu and the One Ring do that.
I had a very similar comparison like in Commander, which, like totally different format, but like in terms of deck building, right? And so I had like two of my friends, and they were building a mono green Commander deck, and they had like a really cool theme with like spirits and other like non-elf like wonky stuff, blah blah blah. A really interesting deck building, but then the how they win the game was create a hoof behemoth, and I told them like, what a fucking lame way to end the game after you have done all the cool spiritual nonsense brewing. You end the game with create a hoof, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I feel like the One Ring, for example, in a deck where you have so many different things going on, like back and forth, like the One Ring literally kills the show, kind of, because like none of the stuff that happened before matters because the ring's just gonna take over.
And look, I'm playing For the One Rings for quite a while now, and I'm a big hater of the card. It's just, you've nailed it there. You've put what I've been trying to like say into words. It's like, it ruins the beginning of the game, which is where you want to be jostling for position, like getting tempo sometimes, expensive cards, like Force of Will doesn't matter because you've gone up 2 mana but lost a card and stuff. It's those kind of back and forth that I enjoy, and I think a lot of people do. So, I do like say that. So Max's argument, it's not completely unfounded at all. I just don't see it the same way. Like there's just different layers.
Is this how rumors start? Like Max Torsion, Legacy is inherently not fun. Oh my god, he's so stupid. This is how tabloid journalism works, right? You take that one quote. No, I think it probably was. Like to me, when I think about it, like as you guys were talking, I was thinking about what is the nature of fun. And that's probably like a whole boring episode in itself when I think about it.
I do want to stress that I totally get that it's subjective, completely understand that. So yeah.
I just want to say, like when I think about it in terms of competitiveness, I think the core element of fun is like how tension in the game works. Like if you play a game where I feel like there's constant tension, there's like constant fear of losing or like chance of winning, like that's a good game, even if you end up losing. Whereas like if you get blown out and you lose like a football match, like, I don't know, 10 or 0-10 or something, it's not really fun for you. And I guess the only fun in winning a match like that is, well, the actual winning, because I guess that's what you came in for. But then it's like the greater context, like a tournament or a league or something. But in terms of actual gameplay, the most fun is had on both sides when there's constant tension, right? Constant feeling like being on the edge and like, no, I guess we always talk about like garbage time. And I feel like sometimes decks can lead to a lot of garbage time, even though I guess tempo decks are better at that because they usually like close out the games way more quickly than like some control decks in the past.
Yeah.
So I think Magic or games as a whole are better when we can maintain a lot of tension all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, like I think maybe it is also okay in Legacy to kind of have like to separate decks to like 2 different categories. Like the one is like the, you show up at your Friday Night Magic kind of thing, or you play with your friends a little bit of Legacy, and like that's where you can start brewing, and maybe you play it more like tier 2 decks, and like the objectively fun decks, right? Which you can play, and then you go to tournaments like, I don't know, like the 4 Seasons or any event that's like 100+ players, and
Impact Returns.
Yeah, Impact Returns, good. Yeah. We gotta talk about this in a bit, but like tournaments where winning is everything. Kind of, right? Because a lot of things are on the line, and you want to have like a very decent record, like, I don't know, like undefeated or whatever in X1, and that's maybe where you prioritize winning, like more to like quote unquote fun, which you can probably rather enjoy with your friends at home or in like local small tournaments.
Are you suggesting that we should do the like EDH layers for Legacy?
Like bracket 1 to 5. All right, here's my Enchantress bracket 1 deck.
Oh my god, how did that actually work out? Because Wizards introduced it a while ago, right? I haven't heard anything.
I love it.
To be working well.
Does it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like I play Commander probably like 3-4 times per week. It's a format I play the most right now, in paper at least. And it is so easy to find the right players, or like to find the right pots. Because like the worst thing in the Commander is if you sit down and then there's like a different understanding of what power level we're playing, and then we just waste a whole hour of time because like the one guy had like a different understanding of power level bracket 3 than the other 3 players, for example, and it's like a big mess. But like,
so what is your power level?
Oh yeah, you split it in 5 categories, right? In 5 brackets, and previously, like I think most of the players said I have a bracket, and I have a 7 out of 10.
It's always 7.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. So all those guys, you can basically name your deck bracket 3 decks. Is what? Yeah, if you put like really simple, right?
Brackets 3 sounds like a whole lot of like dirtling, mid-range, Chunt, Buck-esque. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, like you do whatever you think is cool and fun and wonky and stuff, and you can brew a lot. But your deck can definitely win on turn, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 maybe. And then there's like bracket 4 and 5, that's like the real high power stuff where it's mostly about winning and not as much about like how cool your deck is. And then bracket 2 and 1 is like for the people who want to play, like, I don't know, cards that only have furnitures on them. And then in the artwork, you know.
Like, that's the most random thing you could come up.
Yeah, dude. Like,
imagine if Wizards came out. So our new set is based around the theme of furniture around the house. New and exciting chairs are gonna join us in the next expansion.
People are ridiculous. Right? One of my friends had this commander deck that was only from a single artist. I think it was like Ryan Pancoast, I think. But like every single card in the deck had to be, including lands, had to be
that's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen a Rebecca Gray deck, I think, as well.
So it looked very cool, but the deck was basically a non-functional piece of garbage. Like you couldn't, like, zero interaction, zero synergy, zero combos, zero nothing. Like, I think you did your first play on turn 5.
It's important to remember, like, a lot of EDH players are just starting as well. So in this 40k scene I've got near me, some of the guys play EDH and they just play with precons and stuff. And so I've mentioned that I play Magic and they've asked me to join. And haven't really yet because it's not totally my vibe and stuff. But I've said, yeah, I'll join a little bit and stuff. Next time, maybe. I'm not sure. I just, every time I look at a game, I'm like, oh, I don't want to play that. But anyway, it's like, I tell them a thing, like something they could do for their deck. And they're like, oh my God, that's so good. And in my head, I'm like, it's not very good. But like, nothing on them. This is them being new and excited about like new things. So new players don't know what different power levels are really. It's Magic is a really complex game and it's very hard to understand power levels and stuff. So I think the power gamers do. So someone that has a more powerful deck's probably just bullshitting. But a lot of people will build something strong and they think it's like a 7, but it's just like terrible or whatever. So I don't know. It goes both ways, I think, as well.
Yeah.
You know, you remind me of that guy who came into our local legacy in school back when I started. And he told me, you know, when you have Masticore, try not to play all your cards out on the same turn because then it will survive the next turn. And I'm like, wow, this dude is like a gift from heaven. Like, then you share more of your ancient knowledge. Like, holy shit. Like, I genuinely was like, whoa, that's so smart. Like,
what's your Patreon?
Yeah. Callum was like, if you play a land every turn, you can make your 5-drop on turn 5. Like,
hey, buddy, I was playing Crush of Worms on turn 12. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice dude.
That flashback, man. I want it.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. Finish, guys.
No. I want to just like take the bracket system into Legacy, like, because that's where like the whole conversation started. But I think like something similar to that, right? Like it is a social game, and maybe you can like. I think it's also a good thing for people to have like different decks at the same time, right?
Imagine if you go to like a big Legacy tournament and then you have to sign up and you have to like indicate whether your deck is like tier 5 or like, I don't know, 5 is the highest, right? And the tier, like whether your deck is like tier 5 or tier 4, and then like you want to sign up for tier 5 for the highest level of competition, but then they're like, oh, we are so sorry, you know, Doomsday got demoted to tier 4. Like, what is this shit? There's no way.
So obviously we are completely joking. This would never work for tournaments.
Fast forward.
It'd be pretty funny. I just want to talk about very quickly to raise one more point about the whole banning based on fun and stuff. I think a lot of people will jump back at this and say like, oh, but like, you know, this is a slippery slope. Where do they stop? I think it's just a very rare thing to happen. And it's happened with like Inverter and Microspawn now. There needs to be a huge amount of community feedback and sentiment. It can't come from like just a few loud minorities on Twitter or whatever. Like there needs to be a lot of community sentiment. They've said in the article that, you know, player attendance has dropped. So where they get that from, I have no idea, but I'm going to believe them because they said it, and I'm gullible like that. But I mean, yeah, they need people to not want to be playing this format to take action like this. So it's not going to be like, oh, I don't like this card and I'm going to shout about it on Twitter and they're going to ban it. That's not how it works at all. It's going to be, you know, if there's enough feedback and they see players dropping, as what happened here, it's going to happen. So it's not a slippery slope. It's not Pandora's box to open. It's happened before. I've just seen that comment a lot, so I wanted to kind of address it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I never really bought that kind of argument that people sometimes do, like, no, we don't want like vocal people to, you know, to influence the banning decision. Like, yeah, that's literally what we want. We want people to share their thoughts and emotions about how it is, and then they will. act accordingly, because otherwise, like if we literally only did it by win percentage, then we might as well just say, hey, rock paper scissors is an amazing game, right? You got like perfect balance, and it's like, but the gameplay is terrible. And Kai's like, wait, the gameplay is terrible? I love playing. Like, we can go to my local rock paper scissors nights every Tuesday.
I totally agree. People have
I also want to throw in there, in Legacy, it also has happened before on Dreadhorde Arcanist, right? Where they were like, yeah, it actually is not winning like crazy amounts, but people just hate playing against the card. So we're going to take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, good example on the Arcanist. Yeah.
That was a bullshit card though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It also like influenced your deck building decisions so much, like in the same way Ragavan kind of did. Like you really needed to be able to deal with this card because it could get out of control. Then I guess people did that, but then they didn't like the gameplay and they were like, hey, but the card is being kept in check. It's like if you have like a giant monster, like a giant dinosaur in front of your house, and every time you go out you have to wear like protective gear and you have to sneak out at night and everything, and then only like an acceptable number of people gets eaten by dinosaurs every year, and then like the government is like, yeah, our losses to dinosaurs are okay, but like but our daily lives are being completely destroyed by this card, by this T-Rex. Like, yeah, okay, maybe we're gonna take action. And the T-Rex.
I have a pretty loose rule in my head. This is just made up for me, and it bears no context for anyone else. But when a threat that's 1 or 2 mana is good enough to just force a will removal spell on, that's where I draw the line. It's probably too good.
Ooh, I like that.
So like Frog, you play a push on it, they force it, like, fuck, I'm in trouble. And Arcanist, they force a bolt, and be like, fuck, I'm in trouble. Same with Ragnar sometimes. Like,
it's actually really cool.
There'll be other contexts where like you have a Tarmogoyf turn 2, it's your only threat, and you need to force it. Fine. I'm not talking about things like that, but when you have other threats and stuff, I think this is my line, really.
Yeah, good point. Or like, or when you have to play like really weird cards like Gutshot, for example, right? Like if you see like 2-3 Gutshots in your main decks in Legacy, then we have a problem.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually going to adopt those into my rules of Legacy. Previously, like one of my rules of Legacy was, well, Legacy is in a good spot when you can play Knight of Reliquary and not feel awkward for it.
Okay, Grandad.
But I guess that has been upgraded to Rite of Reliquary. By the way, it's such a cool card.
It is.
I was going to stream tonight with the new what's it called? The frog? The cat? Sky the cat? Sky the cat or something. Yeah, apparently, like, according to Inigo, to Runecard, like, that card is really good and, like, the real deal. And he sent me a list, and I was going to stream that tonight, but we pushed that to next week. But that's the kind of Legacy deck I really want to play. This is like, something that excites me. That's the kind of, like, good... For as much as I had mid-range decks, this is the kind of mid-range deck I like, you know? Or I guess people say it's a control deck, whatever.
It's mid-range, don't worry.
What even is a control deck?
Dude, yeah, you should definitely check out Hello Newton too. Like I think he streamed yesterday, adding like he had like concording crossroads in the main deck.
Ooh, that's cool. I mean, yeah. By the way, this is not a Newton thing specifically. This is like people have been calling, I don't know, Death and Taxes a control deck for ages. Like people have been calling all kinds of control decks.
Preach.
Yeah.
This is especially funny because you know my friends Francis and Jamie. So myself and Francis don't think D&T is a control deck, but Jamie's been arguing that it is for ages. So please go on, don't stop.
Burn is a control deck, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, Lightning Bolt is a control card, but
depends on how many lava spikes they play.
Yeah,
and Bolt Weaves.
Yeah. I think like a 2-3 split maybe.
Yeah. By the way, guys. So Legacy has actually changed somewhat, and I guess in a very expected way, because what we noticed is that, at least what I noticed, is that especially Beanstock decks are on the rise again. Is that what you guys noticed as well?
Yeah, dude. It's definitely up. I think people are like Legacy players have a really soft spot for Bug, the color combination Bug in general. I think like every time like a Bug deck becomes popular, like everyone seems to be very happy. But yeah, like Rakshasa Bargain is a card that I thought was too difficult to cast and too slow and didn't have like enough of an impact, but it has crazy good synergy with Up the Beanstalk. And
I knew immediately this card is great in Bug Beanstalk. Like,
really?
It's not just the triggering Beanstalk. I think that's just a kind of an extra upside. It's an instant. Instants are just so much better than the sorceries. It's just so much better.
It's actually crazy. By the way, you want to share what the card does before we go on?
Oh, yeah. Go on, Kai.
Okay, so it's like 3 hybrid mana. You can pay 2 for black, 2 or green, 2 or blue, and then it's an instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So a lot of similarities to another new card that just came out, Stock Up. I think people are, like, you know, comparing these cards, like because they have kind of similar effects. I think they both cost 3. Stock Up is a sorcery. Bargain is an instant. And what's really nice about Bargain is also like the cards you don't take don't go in the bottom of your library, they go into your graveyard, right? So like there's just lots of synergy. You can pitch this card to anything you want, like to Force of Wills, to Force of Vigor, to Endurance, to what have you.
For me, that's the huge upside. Like the deck plays Forces, and it wants to play Force of Vigor, this Bug Beanstalk deck. And now just having this hybrid thing is just so big for it. It also like draws, quote unquote draws, 2 cards, so it doesn't trigger Bowmasters. As you said, puts cards in the graveyard for like Murktide or Uro synergies and stuff. I think this card is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, dude. Like, I think it has a lot of similarities to like the why people played Icewind Quarrel back then, like with because they wanted to have more cards that can be pitched to both Force of Vigor and Force of Will, right?
Totally.
But like Icewind Quarrel is just not a card anymore.
What a cool card. Oh.
It's a cool card, but as long as Bowmaster is around, it's just so difficult and hard to cast.
Okay. That's a reason to ban Bowmasters, so we can unban Baleful Strix. Come on, Wizards. Everyone would want that. But yeah.
It's kind of funny on the Bargain. They had 2 opportunities to make it worse and still be like a proper card. They could have made it a sorcery, but they made it instant, which puts it like way deeper into the playability territory. And they could have put the card on the bottom of the library, but they chose to put them into the graveyard, which also makes the card a lot better. So it's kind of cool that it was like pushed, but like at least for now, not over the top, I guess. And also, it triggers Beanstalk. I had to look this up because I wasn't sure anymore. Because there's rule 202.3F. Like, holy shit, like this number. It sounds like a meme almost.
Get effed.
When calculating the mana value of an object with a hybrid mana symbol and its mana cost, use the largest component of each hybrid symbol. So this is CMC 6. It's triggered Beanstalk. So it's basically like 3 mana instant, draw 3, kinda, if you have Beanstalk. In that regard, it's better than Painful Truth. Of course, like you also need to, you have the Beanstalk in the first place. But yeah, like, holy shit, like the instant thing is, it's so annoying because like, imagine like you pass your turn, you feel like you got a good grasp at where you are in the game. And then at the end of turn, your opponent like draws 2 or 3 even. And you're like, oh shit, this is like a complete, like I have to go on the offense now because I'm not keeping up. And
I don't think this would be played if it was a sorcery. It's close, but I don't think so. I think being instant is just so big.
Definitely.
But it's a cool addition. It makes me want to play Bug Beanstalk. Like, there's a lot of parts of the deck I don't really enjoy these days, but it's just a really fucking sick card, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. It's insane. And also,
Callum, you know you shouldn't, right? And the Sultai forbade it. But I'm pretty sure you can't resist the temptation, can you?
Like, yeah, this is what I want to play. I want to play Rakshas's Bargain.
This is the flavor text, by the way.
Oh, is it? Sorry. You know what you should... Oh, sorry. The Sultai forbid you, but you can't resist the temptation, can you? No, I cannot. Oh, God, am I going to play Bug Beanstalk?
Yeah, dude.
So I've seen this like as a 4 in all Beanstalk decks, and I guess it's like pretty established by now.
Yeah, I haven't looked at every list too much. I'm kind of like I looked at some yesterday, but I think 3 to 4 would be my kind of starting point. I think it probably depends a bit on if you want other card advantage engines in there. I don't feel like you need much else. So like I would just be going 4 bargain for up the Beanstalk, and then that's your card advantage engines. Personally.
Yeah, like I linked to one of the lists that I saw, and most of them that I saw, they look kind of the same, except for a couple of ones that try cards that are really out there, and I also put them into our show notes. But card advantage-wise, it's 4 Rakshas's Bargain, 4 up the Beanstalk, which already is quite a lot of card advantage, and then they got like Uro as a one-off, and I guess Witherbloom Command as a one-off. Like then there's like incidental, like random card advantage, like Orcish Bowmaster can be card advantage and stuff. But like the real engine-wise card advantage in these decks seems to be like 4 Bargain and 4 Beanstalk.
Yeah. Seems seems great. There's like not a ton more to say. It's just like it's a really good engine, and this is the first time Beanstalk decks have looked like a level up for me. They've always been kind of fine. And since Beanstalk came out, and they've been up and down in the format depending on like other things. Like I think they don't love combo decks, so combo is maybe on a tiny bit of a downswing after the last bans. Maybe Oops is still there. You still need to look at that. But now that you're not getting your lands exiled and stuff with Mike Spawn, you can not have 4 consigns in every sideboard as well potentially.
You know what I love the most? That most of them, at least on Goldfish right now, by far the majority are not playing Jordy anymore.
Oh, good.
Some of them are still trying, but yeah, most
genuinely
of them are
that just makes sense. Like Beanstalk and Bargain is just so much card advantage. Why do you need Jordy as well?
Yeah, loving it. Also, there's a second version of this. Like the most common one is the one I mentioned, but then there's a second version that I see every now and then. I actually haven't checked whether it's always the same player or actually okay. Anyway, so there's a second version, and they rely heavily on artifacts, on enchantments. And one of the core elements is this enchantment class, Stormchaser's Talent. So, oh god, dude, how to explain this?
Well, a lot of people know this because this is a big standard deck at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And we know our audience is like standard aficionados.
So yeah, Stormchaser's Talent is like, I think a lot of people will know it. It's a 1 mana blue enchantment that when it ETBs, you create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. And then quite rarely you 4 mana level it up, and then you can return an instant or sorcery card from a graveyard to your hand. Or you can go to level 3 with 6 mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create another otter token with prowess. The synergy here is you play it with this town ain't big enough for both of us. Is that what it's called? Which is basically, it's 5 mana. Yeah, I'm going to pull the card up before I say something stupid.
Oh, actually, I had put that. Kai, did you delete that?
Wait, what? No, I didn't delete anything.
I thought I put it in the show notes.
Oh, shit. Did I?
No, maybe.
Oh shit, dude! I fucked up. Yeah.
Anyway, I can remember it. This town ain't big enough, so it's 4 and a blue, so 5 mana for an instant. And this spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a permanent you control. And then you return up to 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So the gist is you really want things that you want to bounce of your own. So Beanstalk is a great example. You can bounce the Beanstalk, and this triggers the Beanstalk because it's 5 mana, even if you play it for 2 mana. And so the Stormchaser's Talent is just a very good thing to bounce because you then get to play it again for just 1 mana to get another prowess otter. And then after playing it, you can then pay 4 mana to then return that this town ain't big enough to your hand again. Again, this is a big deck and standard with like lots of self-bounce things. For the boomers like Julian, there's a what's the 2 mana 2/3 flyer from Zendikar? There's a blue one of that now as well.
2 mana 2/3 flyer. Oh, wasn't that this hawk? Something?
Yeah, not the hawk.
I know which one you mean. Yeah. People played it, and I'm trying to remember.
Anyway, there's a blue one of that as well. So this is a big thing in standard. So this kind of angle is it doesn't seem good enough for Legacy to me, but it seems not too bad either. Like not crazy.
Wasn't that Bones thing you also played in Pauper? I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I just can't remember the name, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I put a couple of other enchantments in there that people apparently are also playing, like usually just like one-offs, like Momentum Breaker, which is basically just like a, I don't know, Diabolic Addict kind of.
Core Skyfisher.
Core Skyfish, that's the one. Thank you so much.
It's going to kill me there.
Cool. No, I feel embarrassed for not remembering it.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Momentum Breaker's been played in Vintage a bit as well.
Yeah.
Wait, that card is played in Vintage? So before we go on, this is an enchantment, costs colorless and a red. Start your engines, not gonna go deep into that. And whenever this enchantment enters, each opponent sacrifices a creature or vehicle of their choice. Each opponent who can't discards a card. And then you can also like pay 2 mana, sacrifice it, and you gain life equal to your speed, which increases every time an opponent loses life, I believe.
Right.
Your max speed is 4. It's important.
Yeah, I mean, I played this card the other day and PO Vintage, because you can pick this up, replay it, opponent sacrifices another thing or discards a card. It's like perfect card for
just being an edict, which against like a combo deck at least makes them discard a card. It's cool.
Yeah, and also like a big part of the standard deck. I think the deck is Esper. I think
yes,
I played against it a few times. It's insane. The deck is like a really big engine deck.
Yeah. Like it plays a 1 mana enchantment that ETB is they lose 2 life and discard a card. It's like one of the best cards in the deck. It's funny.
Wait, they 1 mana discard a card or lose 2 life?
They lose 2 life and discard a card. And you
in
can
standard?
Yeah, you can pay
That's
3
really
mana.
Good in standard.
Well, the idea is it's not very good usually, but there's loads of self bounce stuff, so it gets replayed.
Maybe I'm used to a different power level in standard.
Yeah.
Bracket 3.
There's probably like a lot of elitism in the like bracket 2 ones towards bracket 1. There's like, no. My deck also has like, I don't know, cutlery, not only chairs or something. It's just like, yeah. Honestly, like I wonder what the difference between tier 1, like bracket 1 and bracket 2 is, because it's just like these little garbage. And then like you go to bracket 3 and then like Kai shows up with like, what are you playing, Kai? Braid? I always forget. You either play Braids or the other one.
No, I play Phage the Untouchable.
Phage the Untouchable.
Yeah. If I cast her from the command zone, I lose the game. So all I'm trying to do is try to not lose the game. That's what I'm trying to do.
What's your favorite card again? Fireplace, was it?
Oh no, the Campfire.
Campfire.
Dude.
Oh,
yeah,
so
dude.
good.
And the best thing is you can get Campfire of Ursa Saga, dude. It's so busted. Anyway.
So why do you play Momentum Breaker in Vintage?
Oh, because you want to pick it up, with
PO.
with
Okay,
PO.
you said, yeah.
But you can also like sacrifice it, replay it with something like Lurus, for example, or there's just like lots of. I think once you have a semi-useful effect on a permanent, you can do all sorts of stuff, right? You can blink it, you can bounce it, you can recast it from a graveyard. There's just so many things you can do.
You can use Eastrid's Invocation. Apparently, that's also a thing that people do with these enchantments that I've seen, which is like basically like Eastrid's Invocation, like it copies something when it comes into play, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile it and return it under its owner's control. Oh yeah, so you get to basically blink your enchantments.
Yeah, dude.
I guess you get to make a lot of otters. Oh, yeah. Okay. We already talked about stock up on, I think, the last almost 2 episodes, and by now the card has been fully established, right?
Yeah.
The card shows up everywhere. Oh, not everywhere, but in all decks that can actually play it. I see it like as a 2 or as a 3 or so 4 of most of the time.
Yeah, mostly anything that loves Ancient Tomb and blue. Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's a real magic card. Very good. Very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen JPA like play 4 copies in Sneak Show, which to me is like the ultimate test of whether the card is good or not. It's just like,
Julian, can you guess how much it is on Magic Online? For an uncommon in a current set.
But an uncommon in the current set that has been out for a while-ish. Yeah. I have no idea, so I would guess like 1.5 ticks, 2 ticks.
So actually it's selling for 4.5, but it was 6 a few days ago, which is very high for an uncommon that's recent.
True, for an uncommon it's really high. It's actually
and isn't it like $15 in paper?
It's
so I think the card's just so expensive right now. Everyone plays them. So.
Brilliant.
Is it big in standard as well?
Don't know. I don't think I've played against this card too often.
I know of.
But maybe like it has a lot of potential, right? Like it can go in literally any deck, and standard is slower. So
do you get to play a lot of standard these days?
I watch my wife play standard a lot, and she plays like blue black midrange all the time. So yeah.
Every format, every deck, all the time.
I have to say though, like in standard, it is so important to impact the board, right? Because stock up is card advantage, but it doesn't impact the board by in any way, right? Like you don't have any freeze removal spells, you don't. And if your opponent's like mono red and puts a lot of pressure on you, and then you cast a stock up, that just feels very bad for you. So
I guess the only way like a card like stock up is good in standard is when there's like really good wrath and like not a lot of sticky creatures and stuff.
Yeah, or like control mirrors, like that. That's really where stock up is at its best. But yeah,
interesting.
A lot of potential.
Another card that I see quite often in blue-black tempo these days, which seems to have taken over as the dominant tempo, at least in my experience, tempo deck of the format right now, is Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. It's usually like a 2-off, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just really good, isn't it?
Very cool card. Very cool card. Big fan. I was at the beginning too stupid to understand what this card does.
Which part did you not understand?
Because it is a planeswalker with ninjutsu, and I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like a planeswalker that with ninjutsu. But you have like this is like one of the cards you have to play on Magic or Online or Arena first to understand what the card does. If you gave me this card in paper, I would not I just would be able to figure this out on my
Seriously?
own. I don't think so.
At which part would you fail it? Like you would ninjutsu it in, and then you would like not read the second line of text.
Yeah. Like it has a lot of text, right? Because this is the first planeswalker that has the ninjutsu ability, and it's also a creature during your turn. It's a 3/4 ninja creature and has hexproof during your turn, and otherwise it's a 4 mana, like 2 colorless and blue, black for a 4 loyalty planeswalker with 3 abilities. And they're like the +1. The abilities honestly are not even that exciting. That they are okay, they're alright. The +1 is like you get an emblem with ninjas you control, get +1/+1. For 0, you surveil 2, and then you draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. which you usually activate once you hit your opponent with Kaito, and then -2 is you can tap 2 creatures and put 2 stun counters on them, which means that they don't
just one.
Tap 1 creature.
Oh, tap target creature, yeah, and it doesn't untap.
You were right, Kai. You struggled with it.
yeah. See, like
I was so proud of him to actually get all the way to the end, and then he fumbled it.
Oh, you're so close.
So close, dude. Yeah. But so the real reason why people play this card and why this is so popular is because it is so difficult to kill. So during your turn it has hexproof, so like for control opponents really hard to interact with, and during their turn it is not a creature, it's a planeswalker, so like Swords of Plowshares doesn't work, or like creature removal doesn't work, and control decks have a really hard time just killing Kaito, I think. I guess an argument for Red Blast, but yeah
it's true though. It's a sticky, annoying thing, like it's just made for Baleful Strix as well, isn't it? Although it's usually Bowmasters or the token that gets bounced.
Or both.
Yeah, true, sure. It's just a great card. It's just kind of cements yourself as like, as you say, a 2-of. Like, it's a bit clunky, but it's, hey, if you draw a couple, you can always pitch to force. It's always an upside. It's just a good kind of middle to end curve threat.
Definitely. And like the -2 is way stronger than you might think. Like tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it. That's almost equivalent to like destroy target creature.
In Legacy, 2 turns is big. Yeah.
It's so It's
especially when you think about it, like it basically makes the creature not able to participate in combat for like 3 of your attacks, right? On the turn you use the ability, the next turn doesn't untap, you get to attack again, then it doesn't untap again, and you get to attack again, right? So you get like 3 attacks without the creature being present, which is like a big deal.
Yeah. Also, like, you're going to be ninjutsuing something back. As I said, it's often the Bowmasters, and then this gives you like, you can get it in, hit them, and then tap their, let's just say a Tarmogoyf, because we want to feel good about it. And then, you get to replay your Bowmasters with turns to spare and like build up the board as blockers and stuff again then.
I'd be so annoyed if somebody, like, not even a Tarmogoyf, if somebody like tapped my, I don't know, Goblin Raider or something. I was like ready to do like some of these big plays.
I mean, I've seen this tap down an Emrakul. Yeah.
Guess that works, yeah, true. The old Oblivion Ring Emrakul, whatever, biggest, most powerful creature in the world, terror. Well, not terror.
And while it's tapped, you get to plus it again and keep tapping it.
Oh man, loving it. Another card I saw discussed, but haven't really seen played a lot, but actually I saw it in Painter decks, is Voice of Victory, which is a human bard, a colorless and a white 1/3 creature. It has mobilize 2, so whenever it attacks, you also put in 2 attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens, sacrifice them at the end of your end step. And it has your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. Like the only deck, like technically this could be a Death and Taxes thing, but I don't really think that like that's what the deck wants to do. And also it has like so many creatures at 2 mana that can play. But I've seen it here and there in Painter, but
I haven't seen
it's not really good enough, right?
I think this card sucks. Just bad.
Yeah, you know what, we're going to delete from the show notes.
No, you've said it. It's too late. It's in the annals of history.
This was just like an April Fool's joke. Like,
it's
Dude, what do you mean? It's like an upgraded Grand Abolisher. It's not. That's not too shabby.
Dude, Grand Abolisher is such a cool card. Like when people used to go like, end of turn, activate my vial for 2, and you knew you were dead. Like you had all the interaction in the world, but you just were dead.
Grand Abolisher like stops activated abilities like spell bombs and stuff, and Soulglare Lantern. This guy's just like meh.
I just wonder what Grand Abolisher is in German, by the way.
You are correct. You're correct on that.
Oh my fucking god. It's called Großer Upshuffer, which is...
Hell yeah.
Großer Upshuffer.
That's so cool.
Oh god. Like, I want to work for the Department of Translating these cards. But only the card names. I don't want to do the rest. Großer Upshuffer. Fuck it. Like, who says that?
Julian's like, I want to be a Großer Upshuffer now.
Like, abolish is a cool word.
It is.
That's my main occupation. It's like Großer Upshuffer.
You know, that sounds like you're part of the, what's it called, the trash force? Oh, the garbage man.
Yeah.
Trash force sounds way cooler. Anyway, we got one more card we want to talk about, because Kai, I saw you recently played this one, and you were actually quite pleased with it, right?
Yeah, I was very excited to play Core Steel Cutter. It's an equipment. It's a red equipment from the new set, Tarkia Dragonstorm. When a red artifact equipment and equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and haste. And flurry, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a white 1 monk with with prowess, and you may attach this equipment to it. And it has an equip cost for 1 and a red. Spoiler alert, you almost never pay the 2 mana to equip this to really anything. But what this is, like, this really gives you, like, Monastery Mentor, Young Pyromancer vibes.
But it's on an artifact that can't just get bolted.
Exactly, dude. It is a very sticky card against, like, control deck that you can't plow this thing, you know? So it's, even if you play Supreme Verdict or Wrath, you know, the entire table, this Core Steel Cutter will still remain on the battlefield. And it doesn't poop out as many tokens as Monastery Mentor does, because it only triggers like once each turn, right? Whenever you cast your second spell. But any spell triggers it. So even if you go like Delver, this triggers. You get a Monk, you know. It doesn't have to be a non-creature spell. It can... Yeah, and it's like in Delver decks where you play so many Dazes and Forces and cheap spells for 1 mana, it is criminally easy to trigger this thing. And also, I think people are absolutely underestimating what if you equip this, you have a 2/2 Trample Haste Prowess Monk, which is actually more threatening than it looks, I think. Because haste is very big in Legacy. Can kill Kaitos or other planeswalkers out of nowhere, or players.
Haste really is good, isn't it? Like,
haste is insane.
Such a underrated, underutilized. I'm not sure the right phrase there, but it's just every time I play something with haste, I'm like, damn.
Haste is really hard to balance because it like can really swing like games in ways that are unpredictable. But I guess that's the whole nature of the ability.
Yeah. I'm looking at this in Painter as well. I'm going to try it. This is another Max, not Max Gilmore, but another Max that lives where he plays as well, who's Uber on the Discords and Magic Online stuff. He recommended trying this. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty cool, actually. So, like, kind of just replace some of the Similar Spirit guys with Lotus Petals, so you've got more things to play and stuff. And it's just an artifact you can weld in and out and stuff. And as you said, it's sticky.
So why do you want to play this particular card in Painter?
I like the idea as well, yeah.
It's just a fair card that's, like, you know, if there's going to be lots of... like fair decks, like Beanstalks and stuff. It's just good. It's just good.
It's a plan B, right?
Yeah, totally. Like the plan B is in Painter is really like it's 50-50 these days. You're half killing them with Painter, half killing them with fair beats, but the fair beats kind of make way for the Painter in a way. So against combo decks, you're trying to like turbo Painter combo kill them. Against fair decks, you often kill them with Painter Grindstone, but only because they've spent all their removal spells on Fables and Constructs and all that kind of crap. So I think this is a cool one. I don't know if it's like a one-of to just engineer for, or if you could play like 2 or 3. 1 red is quite a low cost in a deck which has fast mana and stuff as well. So just equipping something with and giving it trample and haste, like a Fury, for example, that's just 8 damage with trample coming out of nowhere. Or like a Paraglyph potentially.
Yeah, or like any Ursa Saga construct, dude. Like trample haste on a construct that's like a 7/7 or so. Like, dude, that's game over.
So I think the equip thing is quite real there, but you will also make monks as well, like a fewer game probably. So I don't think it'd be more than like a 2-of kind of thing, but it's definitely worth trying in Painter, I think.
It's a very fun card too, and also I think it kind of it makes gameplay more interesting, right? Where you have like sometimes it's like the mentor thing, you know, where it just seems very bad to cast a brainstorm maybe end of turn, but like if you get the extra prowess trigger or maybe like an extra token trigger, you know, that can be really useful. The same thing obviously during combat is kind of insane if you attack with like, you know, just 2 monks or so. You know, opponent has such a hard time blocking because if you have like 3 untapped mana and like 5-6 cards in hand. Yeah. Love it. Big fan.
Very cool card. Sorry, go. I'm saying I'm not sure we'll see it in like that many legacy decks though. It's become really big in standard. I think there's a blue-red prowess deck and stuff, so it's kind of skyrocketed in price, but it doesn't feel quite like a legacy power level card. I think people will mess around with it, like Painted, like I said, but I don't know if it'll stick around in Legacy, but it's a very cool one. Really fun card, I think.
Maybe one more comment on the, like, whenever you cast your second spell, like, there's a lot of cards in Magic that, you know, that trigger when someone plays their second spell. And that is so easy to trigger in Legacy, I think, like, more than in almost any other format. Except Vintage, maybe. right? But like casting your second spell, or like if your opponent casts their second spell, you get this and that. Like maybe we should watch out for these effects more often, because it almost like you almost double spell every turn. It feels like.
Cool. By the way, guys, we've been really bad at answering our listener questions from the Discord. I feel like, because the whole idea was that we like pool these and then we answer them on a podcast, and it devolved into rather people asking questions and then answering, which I guess is also great. Like if you get people to interact, that's another big thing. But I think we've been kind of like not that great at answering them. But Needon submitted a question that totally doesn't have anything to do with anything. Like the ideal world I was thinking about was that we are gonna like announce the topics like 5 weeks ahead, and then people would think about it and like research their questions, and then like do a whole peer review process, and then like we finally submit them for the next. No. So Needon is asking, when my brother and I were little kids and just started playing, we were convinced that Krovikian Vampire was super strong. It could bring back anything it killed. It's one of those vampire thingies that like when it kills something and it dies, and it comes back on your side of the board. Costs like 500 mana. What's a card from your childhood that you were convinced was strong? There's too many things. Like basically anything in my deck, from I don't know, Child of Gaia to Thorn. Like I guess Thorn Elemental is like the classic one that everybody had like this huge love affair with, but never worked. But one specific card that I never got to play with, but I looked at it from the outside and I was like, oh, this is so like, you know, a card that makes you feel something. It's like the whole power level is like overwhelming you. And I don't know why, but the first card that came to my mind was from Nemesis, Blinding Angel. You guys remember that card?
Oh, that was like when 2/4 flyer, when it hits you, they skip their combat step or something.
Exactly, it's 5 mana, 2/4 Angel.
Oh, dude, yeah,
that was
used to be
busted.
That was like a box cover on a booster box.
I had one in one of my decks, and like it was unbeatable because no one played removal. It was broken. So it's a good one. Good one.
That is so cool, because like my favorite card from back then was good because of the same exact reason, because no one played removal. It was Platinum Angel. Like I played Platinum Angel, and it literally won the game because nobody played. Oh, like some people played removal, but it was Terror. So
good luck with that.
Yeah, sure. Mine was Somnophore, which was from Urza's Saga. So again, because no one played removal, this was in my like. I remember my old deck so well. I had like a blue deck, and then I upgraded it to a blue-black deck when I traded for a Spinal Embrace from Invasion. But Somnophore was a 4-mana 2/2 flyer. Whenever it does damage to a player, you tap a creature that player controls, and that creature doesn't untap as long as Somnophore remains in play. So this was just like, every time it hits you, you destroy a creature. That was just how it worked. Right. So this card was
I remember
unbeatable.
the artwork.
Yeah, it's so cool.
The one with like the does she have red hair, or did they smash her skull in? Actually, I just googled it again.
No, he's making her go asleep.
Or both, maybe.
Yeah, she probably like flavor-wise, she probably does have red hair now that you mention it. Like, I looked at the artwork right now. Oh, she has. No, actually, looks like anyway.
Yeah.
But that card is that was another one of those cards that you randomly saw in a trade binder, you know, and you're like, oh god, this card looks so cool.
Yeah.
But you never had it because of course you weren't like a blue player. It's just like you saw something and appreciated it from afar. And
I was. I had Blinding Angel and Somnophore. I was a
that
power
kind of
gamer
guy?
back then.
Oh, okay.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So there we go.
Andrew Robinson, do you know the guy, Kai?
Not yet.
But you're an artist. You're meant to know every artist.
Oh shit. No, dude, I don't think so.
He also did Back to Basics, Bribery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some cool cards out there. Hurricane, the one from Starter, Hidden Hurt.
Dude, I'm a big fan of the Back to Basics artwork. Like, it looks very, very unique.
I could have sworn it was done by Rebecca Gray, but apparently it was not.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they shared the same art studio.
Dude, he did some really cool artwork. I like that style. Okay. So, yeah, with that, people seriously, like, feel free to submit more questions. We're going to make a better effort at answering them because I love the randomness and also, like, sometimes the just whole vibe of that. So, yeah. And speaking of loving the vibe, there's a big event coming up again. This time, the 3rd year in a row that we're going to be commentating this one. And that is Impact returns in beautiful Naron, Spain, Galicia, northwest of Spain. if you're a fan of the show, you know that we love this event. We've been there twice by now. Callum, I think you've been there once, right? And that one's going to go down on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July. So still 3 months to plan ahead, and you should definitely go there. It's one of the biggest legacy events of the year. Well, another one of those, from the community for the community events. And we're going to have 3 days of legacy. On Friday, Kai and I are going to be commentating the Spanish Legacy Nationals, which, as it turns out, is an invite-only event. And I remember last year, I was constantly talking about how Callum was going to win that event. And then we get to the site, and Callum's like, that's like an invite-only event. Yeah,
it's okay. I read the roster.
We have to make like a fake passport first. Like, he's another Spanish guy.
Callum, I'm so bad at making up names.
I learned how to say carta de manos, which is cards in hand.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Okay, cool. See you in the finals then.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be it on Friday. But also, if you're not Spanish and you're not qualified for the nationals, you can also play in the Team Trios event, right, Kai? I think Callum, that's what you did last year.
Yes,
if I remember correctly. Yeah,
which was like pre-modern, legacy, and modern.
Dude, I love that they put pre-modern in there.
That's pretty sick, yeah.
I remember you also went to the finals of the pre-modern event last year, right? Against Andrea Mengucci. You did?
Semis.
Or was it semi-finals? True,
True. That was that crazy game against Pox where I just didn't draw any of them.
Where you sided out all of your 1-drops and then you also you choose to be on the draw.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. I mean, against that deck, you just the game goes 25, 30 turns, and you just don't play your 1/1s until they play an Engineer Plague, and then you naturalize it. But I just didn't draw any naturalizes.
Yeah. There was like 3 naturalized, like in the bottom.
No, there was like 6 in the bottom 10 cards. I remember counting afterwards.
Even worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also going to be a legacy trial on Friday as well at 16:30. So if you arrive early in the day, you can also get that. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
And then for the main event, I think last year we had around 200 players, right? So pretty big.
Yeah.
That's going to go down on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the modern main event, which I guess is also around the same size, kind of. Depends on like how many people just choose to play pre-modern, legacy, and all. Like that. There's also going to be side events, by the way, on every single day. There's going to be like CEDH. I guess CEDH by now means bracket 5, right?
It is bracket 5, yeah.
Bracket
it's the
5,
highest bracket.
I want to see the chair tournament. I want to see the guy beat up one other guy with like all his favorite furniture. That's would be an event as well. Honestly, that would be really cool if they had something like that. Anyway, so there's also going to be a standard one. There's going to be a modern trial at 14:30. How do you say that? 14:30? Is that really how they say it?
2:30.
2:30. Yeah, actually, that sounds much more correct. And there's also going to be vintage, of course. And then on Sunday, as usual, there's going to be the big modern event, pre-modern, which is like the actual highlight of the weekend for me. And lots of other things like Pauper, 8-mans. Oh, and there's going to be Vintage Cube.
Nice.
You heard about that?
I think it was last year as well.
Yeah, I think we talked to the organizers about this, and I think they had it last year, but last year they didn't promote it as much.
Mm-hmm.
So even me, I think I'm not even aware of I think I would have played in it, at least on Sunday when I had the time. Yeah. But this time there's going to be, once again, the Vintage Cube, and they really want to make sure that people are aware of this, because this is going to be a Vintage Cube. I think they're going to have proxies for at least the Power 9 or something. But yeah, Vintage, my favorite kind of cube is Legacy Cube, gotta admit, but when you... On the rare occasion that you get to play one of these real-life cubes, I think Vintage Cube might actually be the better experience, just because, like, it's one of the few times that you actually get to, play the power if you open it and get that excitement of like, oh my god, I cracked this card, cracked that card. And then somebody ships you a Mox and you're like, oh my god. And then you think about, but what did I open? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what is the number 1 pick in all of Vintage Cube? Because it's certainly not Black Lotus, right?
It's Mana Crypt, I think.
No,
for me, it's Mana Crypt.
That's what I think.
Mana Crypt?
I think it's Mana Crypt. Like, people have been that's the standard answer that people have always been saying.
What would you pick over Mana Crypt?
Crazy. It's like Lotus.
Don't say
Lotus Recall or Sol Ring.
Dude, I mean, Sol Ring I can see over Mana Crypt, but I think you pick Mana Crypt over Lotus every time.
I would heavily disagree with Black Lotus. Like, Ancestral Recall is a different animal. I think I guess you can argue for. Black Lotus, that's a one-time use thing, Crypt stays forever.
Black Lotus is better.
I mean, I can see Black Lotus if it's like some kind of combo deck where you really want the Lotus for some kind of like combo or recursion or something. But
you guys,
has been always the case that people have been saying that Mana Crypt is the number 1 pick in all of Cube?
No.
I think like we all challenge ourselves for a vintage cube draft then. Okay, because we have to find out because we don't have a real answer here in the on the cast.
I want to know what the bottom pick is. What's the card least likely to be taken out of the vintage cube? I guess
Mana Crypt.
Of course, what else would it be, right? It deals damage to you. Actually, that's so bad.
You guys are really, really underrating Blood Lotus making colored mana, and 3 is a lot more than 2 for early game, and the 3 damage can add up.
It's 1.5, okay?
Mm-hmm.
On average, you know? It's just the guy who missed rolls 4 times in a row and then loses an unlosable game or something.
Mana Crypt is in the power 10. It's in the top 10 for sure. But it's for me, it's on par with Moxen. Probably just
way
above.
Beyond.
It's just above Moxen, I think.
Anyway,
I mean, I'm just going to point to
can somebody call Bob again for the next episode or something?
There's a really famous draft where what's his name again? Jan Moritz Merkel. Is that it right? Yeah. He was playing. It was a Magic Online Vintage Cube, and it was like a Mox, so really high level. And he takes Blade Splicer over Mana Crypt. And the whole chat and the whole internet just flips out. What the fuck? And he won.
Yeah.
He won. He said, he wrote a tweet after standing by it. He was like, yeah, Mana Crypt is fine, but Blade Splice is better.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like the 3 mana 1/1 dude? That
3 mana 4/4.
Kinda.
That poops out a 3/3 golem?
Yeah.
That shit thing?
He took that over Mana Crypt and he won the draft.
Okay, I mean, he should have probably picked both because they're both they have good synergy.
You know, you just put Callum and Jan Moritz Merkel into my pot, and I'm gonna third pick Mana Crypt all day long. Okay, that's fine. I'm fine.
That's fine by me.
All right.
Cool. So that's gonna be on site on Saturday and Sunday. Also, once again, really good prices. We see, for example, in the Legacy main event, we get 3 Underground Seas for first. Prices go down all the way to card prices go down all the way to 32nd place, which is like 2 Windswept Teeth. And then Top 64 also gets a lot of Ultimate Gear, one of the sponsors. So we're looking forward to that. Also, they are going to give out invites again. So the Spanish one gives you an European Legacy. Dude, I'm so bad. I also want to call it European Legacy Masters. How am I so bad? What does ELM stand for? Everybody always says ELM.
European Legacy Masters.
European Legacy Masters. That's the one. Oh god, I'm so bad. No, seriously, it gives out a direct qualification slot for a European Legacy Masters, as does the Legacy main event and as does the Modern main event. But there's also gonna be the EUL, which is another tournament. Well, it's actually not a tournament series. It's the European Unity League. You guys haven't really heard about that, right? We talked about this before the cast, and I also recently only learned about it, but it's a big thing. Started up in January, around, I think, 7th of January or something.
Really new then.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is... I guess the whole idea for that is that we don't have a unified big tournament structure that transcends formats in at least Europe anymore, right? Previously, Wizards used to do that for globally and then split it into different regions or something. But these guys from, I believe, Switzerland, they used to run tournaments before, and they decided, you know what? Why shouldn't we have that back, right? That the whole feeling of, hey, we have a national leaderboard, we have national championships, and that feeds into what they call a European championship, a European Magic Cup, they call it. Dude, this is not confusing at all, right? How many Magic Cups are there out there? Anyway, but this is a really, really interesting idea, because the way this works is that you can collect points for this tournament. It's not actually a tournament series, for this framework in all of the formats. All of the formats that see play, and I believe you can also have proxy events for that. I think I need to check again, because somebody told me that they are kind of proxy friendly in some way. So what you can do is you collect these points, and then if you're in the top something 100 or something, you get to top 40 of your country. You get to qualify for your national championship, and from there the top 4 qualify for the 20k European Magic Cup, which is going to be held in Q1 in Italy next year. And there's also what they call Grand Prix, really big tournaments. For example, 4 Seasons would be a Grand Prix, and I guess since Impact Returns directly qualifies you, I believe it would also be classified as that. Long story short, this kind of brings back the feeling that we used to have ELO, way back before Wizards removed that, and in some way Planeswalker points. And I just like had a quick look at the website, and what I found really cool is like I thought this would be like a slow adoption thing, and then like only the friends of the friends are going to participate in this. No, for Germany, ever since January, they already have a ranking of almost 600 players, literally. Like you go to the website is really well made. You pick the season, right? There's only one season right now. But then in Germany, for example, you got Sven Schmidt in first place, Andreas Strehling, Alexander Meyer, all the way down to, okay, who's in last place actually? Michael Rosina, 3 points, but shared with like so many others. And this is really cool. You also like you get to see what the ranking for your current category is. You also get to see you get to pick the players. You get to see which tournaments they played all year long. For example, the guy in first place, he played like 25 tournaments, and you can click the tournaments. You can see the standings on the tournaments. You can click the names. Like this is an insane database of all the tournaments happening in Europe right now. It's really well made. And I'm pretty excited for it. Actually, let me look it up for the UK, for example, and you can tell me whether you know those players. Does it go by England or UK? Okay, it goes by United Kingdom, I guess. United Kingdom. So who's up there? Oh, United Kingdom, the adoption has been rather slow. We got Archduta in first place.
Yeah, know him.
Oh, you know Archduta, okay.
Well, I'm not friends with him, but I know.
Oh, you're enemies with him, of course.
Of course.
Alexander Rohan.
Alex Rohan, yeah. Yatka is lived in London. I'd play Legacy with him like every week when I was living there.
See. You gotta get an even. And for example, you go to Italy. Of course, Andrea Mengucci is in first place. Who would have guessed that? So yeah, this is getting a. Italy is insane. They have 2,462 players ranked. I thought Germany was doing well at 600.
Oh wait, so we just had 3. That's the top 3.
Yeah.
So I see. I thought it was like cut off to top 3, but no, we just have 3 people signed up so far.
Yeah,
fair
Spain
enough.
is like over 1,000.
It's a very European thing.
Yeah, apparently the European Union something.
So the top 120 players will qualify for the national championship.
It's probably gonna be easy for the UK then.
Maybe.
But also they sponsor the national championships. I saw that on the website. Cool. So there's something like they, from what I understand, like don't take this for granted with regards to the actual details. But this is similar to the European Legacy Masters in the sense of that they want to provide some little bit more structure and a framework for playing the game, but across all the formats. And unlike the European Legacy Masters, these guys apparently have like not only sponsors, but somehow are backed by money that, I don't know, comes out of somewhere. I guess in the end it's still sponsors, but it's more like it's bigger, right? It's bigger by approach, it's bigger by scope. And that's also why there's like a lot of more money in this. And I like that this is trying to, I guess it's called the Unity League, so to unify the way Legacy is played across, or Magic is played across Europe. And another thing that I really, really like, because this 20k European Magic Cup is actually going to be split by formats, from what I understand. So they are going to look at the individual formats, and you can then, depending on how you did it, either your national championship or in these Grand Prix, you can play that event by format. For example, if you qualify for it, and then you can choose to enter. They haven't announced the formats yet, but I guess it's going to be something like, I don't know, Modern, Legacy. Depends on how big Standard it's going to be, probably Standard, something like that. And you can also choose, like, if you're qualified for the thing and you get 2 other people from your country, you can also form a team. And then you can compete in the team continental or whatever you want to call that championship. So really excited to see like people putting out something like that going forward. Because to me, one of the coolest things, and I hope other people get to experience that again if they haven't before, was when after a week of tournaments, like Monday morning or Tuesday or whatever it would be put into the system, I would look up at like who are the best players in Germany. By then you could also split it up by regions, so I would look up, hey, who are the best players in Bavaria? And you would read these names and you're like, oh, I played against that guy, oh, I beat that guy, and that kind of stuff. So, just like make it more visible, provide more incentives and stuff like that. And I really, really like that. So check it out. It's called unityleague.gg. And there's a good chance that your local tournament also makes you earn points for that. Kai, are you on that list actually?
Oh, dude, I have to look it up. I it's the first time for me hearing about this, but I'm a fan of leaderboards in general. I think it makes Magic players in general like more excited about just grinding and the right? Like just attending as many events as possible. It really gives me like the good old like Star City Games vibes, where you had like a leaderboard and like all the like the Todd Andersons and Jerry Thompsons, like you used to go to like all of those shows, as many as possible. And if that's the goal with this, and if it makes more people attend like as many events as possible, then I think that's a big win.
Yeah, dude, you're not on the leaderboard yet, but I guess that only means that your local events are not like registered for the European Unity League. So
I mean, of course they aren't there. It's in Berlin. It's like it's in garbage city.
I mean, it's literally Berlin. Like people think this is a joke, and people make that kind of joke about their capitals all the time. But I guess it's kind of similar for London, right? For the UK, where London also feels like a completely different thing from the rest of the country. But in Germany, it's also like Berlin is like you have Germany. And then there happens to be Berlin that's stationed in Germany, but you feel like it could leave at any point, and it wouldn't be all too different. So, yeah. I already started stalking my friends because I just looked up a friend of mine who hasn't been playing a lot lately. And I was like, oh, but he still has points. So I looked it up. Oh, so you played in March 2 tournaments, and then just this past Saturday, he also played in a Legacy tournament. He went 4-3. Oh, he's not doing as well anymore as he used to. Like, this is... I don't know. I like these spy tools.
It's very good for stalking, ghosting. Yeah.
Yeah. Also looks like they don't have like any kind of like ads all over. The website is really seamless. Anyway, also not, like, we haven't taken any money from them. This is like not one of those things where we just like, oh my god, this is so great, and then we never look at it again. We don't do that. By the way, you guys, oh no, we had a sponsorship request last year where I was like, I'm not feeling it. Are you guys feeling it? No, okay. And then anyway, totally getting lost in that. Yeah.
Now with you guys thinking Manicrypt's the best card in Cube, we're never going to get one.
True. Anyway, so going back to Impact Returns, which is like one of those tournaments that makes you qualify for potentially the European Magic Cup next year in Italy. The national championships are going to be held in October and November this year. So if you want to qualify for those, I think if you really want to, you can make it. So we'll see about that. But yeah, if you have any questions about Impact Returns, hit us up. I guess Discord is the best way to do it. We don't really use Twitter anymore. At least I think Callum, you already mentioned, right? You don't, and I guess I still have the account, but I don't. The best way to get into contact with us is through the Discord if you're a Patreon. Otherwise, just go through the contact form on the website and try not to sell us weird things. Like we've gotten a lot of random spam through that. I have to look into shutting that down. Also, we have drumroll. I'm gonna pick the wrong button once again.
Oh my god.
The wrong button, of course.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
Yeah, that's actually what Impact Returns is probably thinking, because they are giving out a golden ticket. So we're going to be giving out a golden ticket through the podcast. We still have to decide how exactly we're going to do that, but we already want to tease it right now. That golden ticket, one of our listeners is going to get that, and that allows you free entry into almost any events of the entire weekend. Like, it's not gonna be applicable for 8-mans and trials, I believe. But if you want to play any of the main events, any of the side events, like if you want to play the, I don't know, CEDH with your chair deck, if you want to go into Vintage Cube and that kind of stuff, you can do that. And of course, also the main events alone are worth like 60, and then whatever you play on top. Like, I want to say this is like a monetary value of like, I was going to say, depending how bad you are. Like, if you play an event, drop out of the box and play new ones, it's going to go way beyond 100 euros or something. But just like, sign up. Okay, that again. Okay, let's try again. And we're going to give that out. Probably going to have the details on that for the next episode, but you can already start planning your trip. And once again, if you need any information about how to get there, like usually we fly to Coruña Airport. You can also fly to Santiago de Compostela, but I believe for most Europeans, it's easier to go to Coruña. And from there, it's like a short ride to Naron. If you need help with getting to Naron, just hit us up, hit up any of the Impact Returns guys. They're surely going to be helpful. And another big thing, because I like how they increase their scope and their ambition every single time, right? 2 years ago, they brought in Kai and me to increase the audience and also have like an English-speaking cast for the Legacy tournaments. But this time, they're also going to have an English-speaking live cast for the Modern tournament. We don't know which duo they're going to use for that exactly, because it would be a total disaster if Kai and I did that, at least speaking from my perspective. Kai, remember when you bolted that 0-3 so you could attack with your 1-1 or something?
Yeah, man, where was that? Yeah, no, I remember saying something really fucking stupid. Yeah,
I remember.
But it happens so often. I don't remember exactly which one it was.
Yeah, just putting this out there. If you like these kinds of events, and this is like wholly community driven, then support Impact Returns. Also, make sure to catch their live stream, which is going to be on the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July on Twitch TV/Impact Returns. Actually, we should also stream that on YouTube. We're going to talk to Inigo about that in the future. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. And I think that's pretty much it, right? Looking at the show notes right now, I think I got into all of this. Yeah, looks good. Kai the Way. I like that saying. Kai, by the way, Kai the Way. We're going to use it in the future. That should be its old segment. Kai the Way. Did you actually travel to yeah, maybe I'm too drunk. We're recording this on a Friday noon, so I probably am not. Probably. Kai, didn't you go to an event like last weekend? I saw your booth popping up. Like your booth pops up all over Europe all the time these days.
Yeah, it does. So I mean, like it's gonna be like a topic for probably like an entire different episode, but I started a new format, and it's CEDH. I picked it up like 2-3 weeks ago, and I attended my first event on last weekend in Berlin, and I finished 5th out of 50 in a pretty new format, so that was pretty exciting. And I had my booth with me. I played the entire event, had a lot of fun. It was a whole new game experience because like a 4-player competitive CEDH game is so different than Legacy or Vintage, even though the card pool is kind of similar. But I had a lot of fun, and I think picking up, like we were talking about this earlier, right? Like with Callum, like you and your Warhammer, like Plan B kind of thing, whatever is more exciting, gets you in. Like it's kind of the same thing for me, where whenever like CDH becomes really exciting, then I'm gonna switch to that, and vice versa and stuff. So,
any plans of getting into pre-modern?
Dude, I don't think I'm old enough yet for pre-modern. Like these like age restrictions on products, where it says like you have to be at least 12 years old to start Magic the Gathering. Like I feel like the same is for pre-modern, except it says like 40 to me.
You must be this height to right here.
Okay, now's the time you can drop me from the podcast. That's fine.
Baby Kai.
And I'm going to join the Serum Visions podcast then.
Dude.
It's the Lava Spike podcast.
No, seriously. What I love about the Serum Visions podcast is how underground it is. Like, it took me like 2 years to even find it in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's like so hard to like...
I think we talked about this so often that like people already know about the Serum Visions podcast, even though it doesn't exist.
What
like
do you mean it doesn't exist? It totally does exist.
It exists in our hearts. Yes.
I mean, you hide in plain sight, right? You're ridiculous. Like you talk about it as it didn't exist, so people are like, "Oh God, not that shit again." And then you just when you have time, you go back, you listen to the new episode, and you're like,
"What if they released like 20 episodes already?"
It actually looks like Kai has actually never listened to the Serum Visions podcast.
What a loser.
I'm getting the kind of feeling.
I've listened to every episode at least twice.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Big fanboy.
I loved Kai, by the way, Callum, when you were a guest on that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's the best podcast I've ever done.
Yeah, pretty sure. Definitely. So Serum Visions, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Can we please stop?
Yeah, we're going to call it a day here, guys. So if you want to support the running of Everyday Eternal or the Serum Visions podcast, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Are we on Google yet? Can you give us like a Google rating? Maybe you should implement that at some point. But you can also, of course, support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Thank you so much. And I guess see you later this month. We still have that episode, right? That we want to do about the worst decks in history of Legacy. And I got a couple of really good ones lined up for that
as well.
Hell yeah.
If you want to submit some of those that we can discuss that we maybe haven't even thought about, and please don't make it, oh, my friend Barney's like standard deck was so terrible. It's like, okay, that's good. You can do that on our Discord as well. So thank you so much, everybody, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Ciao. Can't believe you guys think Mana Crypt is good.